Hello, students, visual thinkers, and fellow awesome people. This is Muddy Waters, head chief at Backyard Creeks and co-creator at the Watershed Graphics Company. I want to do a live demo with you today about interactive graphics, how to use visual thinking and graphic tools when you're working remotely. You're not face-to-face in the same physical space with the person that you're working with. I'm coming to you today from my home office in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's not the perfect setup, but I'm doing the best with what I got. The purpose of this broadcast today is to be able to demonstrate some of the tools, and specifically I want to talk to you about tools to connect with one person to another, and then how to incorporate visuals into that. My main goal is to show you that you can start doing this today. So we want to make it real easy. So what's the easiest way that we connect with another person is just to call them on the telephone. And believe it or not, you can use visual thinking and graphic tools even through a simple phone call. And the way to do that is to capture your recording, your visuals on paper as you're listening, and then take a photograph or scan that and send that to the person while you're talking. So, you know, kind of lowest tech way that you can do it. Use 3x5 cards, use the camera on your phone, take pictures of it and send. And that way you can at least begin to connect those visual thinking and unlock some of your visual superpowers through something as simple as a phone call. Today, I want to talk to you about two video tools that I'm using. So let's start with the one that we're on right now. So you are watching this video most likely on a replay video on YouTube. But I'm actually creating this video with Google Hangouts on air. So if you have a Gmail or Google Plus account, you have access to a free video conferencing tool called Google Hangouts that you may be familiar with. It allows you to see one another really just like we're doing today. If you have your Google Plus account linked to a YouTube account, you can also do something called Hangouts on Air. So with Hangouts on Air, I'd be able to have this video conference with up to 10 people. But I'm also on a live stream right now on YouTube that will be recorded there and be on my channel for people to watch after the fact. So that's the first tool that I'm using today. You know, one of the great things about Google Hangouts is it's free. So it's really super accessible. It also can be used on a phone, on an iPad, on a laptop, on a desktop computer. So there's lots of different ways to use Google Hangouts. And you can also get apps or widgets that run within Google Hangouts, so you can do some doodling and some other kind of interactive things right kind of in the same tool. All right. That's Google Hangout, or Google Hangouts, and how that connects to YouTube through Hangouts on Air. So the second video app that I want to talk to you about, or kind of meeting app that I want to talk to you about, is GoToMeeting. I've got my little graphic here. That's similar to the logo for GoToMeeting. And with GoToMeeting, you can screen share, you can do an audio conference, and you can have a face-to-face feed for up to 6 people. I want to say GoToMeeting, I think there's 2 different license levels, maybe 10 people and 25 people allowed in the meeting, six of which can use the video. And one of the neat things about GoToMeeting, let's see if I can get this working, is if you're using it on an iPad, there's a way, if you look at the bottom there, to bring up a whiteboard app as part of the meeting. So right now on this GoToMeeting, people are seeing, if there was anyone else connected to it, are seeing that graphic. And in fact, from their end, they're able to connect to it and draw as well. So there's an interactive whiteboard that's available through GoToMeeting. So that's another great tool that I use. Let's now talk about how kind of the visual component. So we've talked about some of the tools for meeting together: phone, Google Hangouts, kind of Google Hangouts on Air, and then GoToMeeting. But how do you add the visual component? Well, you've seen the first part of that, and that's using a whiteboard. So I've just got a handy-dandy whiteboard here that's sitting on an easel. At work, we've got one whole wall that's painted in whiteboard paint, so I can get on a video call in front of that wall. And as I'm talking on the call, even an audio call, as I'm listening to the call, I can be recording what I'm seeing on that board, or I guess what I'm seeing in my mind's eye on that whiteboard. And then the other person on the call, if it's a video call, can see that live, or I can share it with them after the fact. So the first way to incorporate the video component is to use a whiteboard. And that has been a great tool for me in working with people in meetings. All right, I'm going to sit down, adjust my camera here. So the second way, and really probably the most simple way to use graphics in a visual meeting is to, or in a video meeting, is to record them on paper and hold them up to the camera. So I have kind of a standing video call with a friend of mine, Mark Contorno, who has creeklife.com, this great website, and we're often doing brainstorming together. And so I'll be sketching while we talk, and then either show that on screen, which is just ephemeral, and sometimes I'll hold it up there and he'll do a screen capture, click, so then he's got that, or I'll take a picture of it and put it in the chat or email it to him, so he's got a kind of electronic copy of that doodle to go with him. And of course, you know, that works at any scale. That was a 3x5 card, but you know, here's my kind of half-page whiteboard. I can use that. Use my handy-dandy trusty, you know, clipboard as well, and hold that up there. So that's the next way, is to just kind of write on paper, but then hold it to the camera or take a picture of it and send it to the other person. The last way that I want to show you is really kind of the most interactive, and I showed you how that would work in GoToMeeting. And of course, if this was your drawing tool, you could sketch on an iPad and hold that up to the camera. But the other way is to use interactive online tools. So let me go to screen share here for a minute. And I want to show you one tool that, again, is real easy and free to use. So this is a tool that is called Sketchpad. There's different versions out there. This is Sketchpad version 3.7, and this runs in a web browser. So as long as you have an internet connection, you can use this tool. And what this does, you can bring in a picture. So this morning, I went to a room where I'm going to be doing a workshop next week and kind of made a sketch on paper of how I want the room set up. But now I can get a call. Now I can get on a call with my client or colleague, coworker, assistant, someone who I'm going to be planning the meeting with, and then bring that graphic up as the background and use these other tools in a much more interactive way. Let's see if I can pull this, show you that there's a whole bunch of different drawing tools. This arrow tool works well for this particular use. So I can show that, you know, I've got some table space set up, but then I also have some wall space where I want to be able to set up rolls of paper for participants in this workshop to be able to sketch. So that's an online tool called Sketchpad. You can see in the address there, it's sketch.io/sketchpad. All right, let me come back to the Hangout and we'll finish up here. Awesome. Well, I sure appreciate you watching this video. I want to encourage you to keep doodling, keep practicing, unlock those visual superpowers to help you work with one another. There's lots of ways that you can do that. So we've demonstrated some of that today. Now you try. All right, see you next time. Bye-bye.